Hi there, Tom Cassidy here. We're talking about the science of getting rich in practice and the science of getting rich made simple. And the idea is that we're going to take this tremendous book from Wallace Lee Wattles over 100 years ago, and we're going to just focus on one aspect at a time until we've completely nailed it. And we're using a 13x4 system, the system that was developed by Ben Franklin, and I've popularized and I've applied it to just about everything I can over the last 15 or 20 years. It works really well, and this little video will be talking about, it's the second week's focus of the 13 weeks in the cycle. It's about thought and about how everything starts with thought. It's the first principle in the science of getting rich, and this is chapter 4 of the book, that thoughts create things. And this is a little bit weird for a lot of people. They don't really get it, and to be honest, I didn't get it for a long time. The things that I thought that it was creating when we thought about stuff is I thought that it was actually creating the physical things. So if you thought of a Ferrari, I thought that would create a Ferrari. No, it doesn't do that. The thought creating things. When you think of a Ferrari, what you do is that when you really have that impression of a Ferrari, that thinking about it creates an impression, that same impression of a Ferrari, in the formless substance, in the universe, in that energy that's emanating from you in all directions. And it is that energy that's emanating from you in all directions that then, as a result, it ends up with you doing the sorts of things, taking action to allow that the impression that you've given to the formless substance to deliver what you want to you. But it comes only as a result of you taking the action to do it. But it does start with thought. So when everyone's talking about the law of attraction, oh, I thought about this and I didn't get it. Well, thinking is the gateway through which you have to pass in order to get to the great stuff. But you can't get there without thinking, but thinking itself doesn't actually get you there. So everything starts with thought. Thoughts create things. There's stuff out there. Thinking stuff, dark matter, energy, formless substance, whatever, it exists. Once a thought is made, it creates an impression on the formless substance. Maintaining the thought causes the thing to be brought into reality. So if you carry on thinking it for long enough, what it does is it doesn't do it itself, it just enables you to then take the action. And again, a lot of people sit there manifesting stuff, they get nowhere. Why? Because it doesn't work like that. When stuff comes to you, it actually comes through the normal channels of nature's processes. Anyway, so all you have to do to get the ball rolling is think about what you actually want. Wealth, riches, material possessions, time, travel, good food, nice cars, etc. Whatever it is that you want. To be happy, you know, great stuff like that. And don't think about what you don't want. Bad food, poverty, rubbish cars, no holidays, etc. Being miserable. So again, we're talking about at the level of what would you choose? Would you choose that believing that everything starts with a thought and that thoughts can actually create reality is a very powerful belief, but it's not what most of us have grown up believing. So what would you choose? Would you choose to believe it, or would you perhaps approach it from a slightly different way and say, you know what? People who've become wealthy, what do they believe? People that aren't wealthy, the poor people, what do they believe? And even if you can't see that this idea of dark matter and formless substance is right, who are you going to align yourself with? Are you going to align yourself with the people that think it's utter BS and is, you know, never going to work? Or do you align yourself with the people who've already used it and it has worked? Okay, that's kind of an interesting way to look at it. You know, irrespective of whether you believe it or not, which group do you want to be in, and what does that group think? So what are you putting in? Are you consistently putting into the sausage machine that this is true, that you believe it? Are you putting in that you can bring into reality what you consistently think about? Are you putting in that the science of getting rich begins with the absolute acceptance of this faith? So, you know, it's a tricky one for people. A lot of people don't get beyond this, but it's okay for it to be tricky. It's not okay for it to stop you actually doing it and taking action. So that's me signing off. This is the Science of Getting Rich made simple and Science of Getting Rich in practice. It's both of these things. This is something that we can actually do, and this week all we're going to be thinking about is that thoughts actually do create things.